Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm actually doing an Etsy shop critique. This is one of the many free critiques I do every single month. I do anywhere from 1 to 4. And then some months I do a little bit more depending on how busy I am or not. So if you are interested in possibly winning a free critique, I will leave the link right below this video. Also, if you are interested in learning how to make passive income on Etsy and you have not joined my Etsy course yet, make sure that you grab this free guide. I will leave the link right below this video. It will teach you the 3 essentials that you need today to get started and have your very own printable store. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, consider subscribing. I do upload weekly videos to help you build an impactful online business. So make sure that you subscribe today and hit that notification bell so you'll be the first one notified of every single time I upload a new video. So I'm going to head over to my computer now and you will be able to see if you are the lucky winner today. So let's head over to my computer and see. All right, so here we are, and today's lucky Etsy critique winner is the store called Dad Jokes Shirts by Justin. So congrats, Justin. Guys, even if you didn't win this critique, keep in mind that I do 1 to 4 every single month. In addition to that, everything that I'm about to talk about in this critique is applicable for all Etsy stores, no matter what niche you're in. So make sure that you stick around all the way to the end, and don't forget to leave valuable feedback for Justin on any tips that you have as well, especially if you sell t-shirts like he does. So let's go ahead and get started. So the listing that I picked for this particular store to do a critique on is this one right here. I didn't necessarily want to pick any of the feature items because a lot of times the feature items that you guys have are the ones that are your best seller or your top sellers. And whenever you have a top seller listing, you do not want to change those tags or anything on it because it's already working for you. So I kind of wanted to do a different item in the store just in case. So the first thing I want to talk about is product photography. It's the first thing I always start off with when I do a critique. And you always have to keep in mind when people buy online, whether it's on Etsy, on Amazon, maybe you have your own website, product photography is really important. The customer can't actually touch the product. They can't wear the product. They have nothing to go besides the photo. That's the first thing that they look at. And in my opinion, because this is a t-shirt, you have to make sure that when people are browsing in the feed, they know exactly what they're getting at first glance. And looking at this, it just looks like a picture with some words. It doesn't necessarily show or it says t-shirt on it, right? Or when you look at it, you don't think that it is a t-shirt. Now, if they read the title, it does have the word t-shirt there, but still, people look at the photo first. So keep in mind that back in 2018, Etsy did a survey and they said that 90% of people purchase strictly because of the photo. So when you're showcasing your products, whether you sell t-shirts like Justin or you sell something else, you want to make sure that your picture is the attention grabber. The purpose of your Etsy photo or the job of the Etsy photo is to grab that person's attention when they're browsing through the feed. And you want to make sure that when people are browsing through the feed and your competitor's listing is up here and your other competitors here and your other competitors here and this is your listing, you want your picture to grab that person's attention enough to entice them to click, engage with your listing, read about your listing description, and hopefully go ahead and buy from you. But it all starts with your photo. So what I would do as a suggestion is make sure that if this is a t-shirt that you're selling, that you showcase it as a t-shirt. When people look at it, they know that they're getting a t-shirt. So that would be my first suggestion. I know that you have it here, but your main photo should be displayed as a t-shirt. So you might have to just go ahead and redo your images again, which is no big deal. This is just part of fixing your store. It happens to all of us. Sometimes we'll do something, it's great, and then later on we're like, oh, I could make it better, I could fix it better. And it's just a part of selling online. It's never going to be, oh, you're done with it. We are always going to be changing stuff in our store to improve it. And by improving it that way and having a picture of an actual t-shirt that shows it, It's going to help you with your click-through rate, excuse me. It's going to help you with the probability of getting more people engaging with that listing and hopefully buying from you. I think you did a good job of having the different listing variation, the different colors. What I would prefer you to do is have these listings in a way that maybe you showcase like a table where you have all of the different colors, so you could add more pictures here of different things besides just a shirt in different colors. I do like the fact that you have here the listing variation, so they could just come here and change it. But you want to make sure that when people are clicking here, this changes to that color, right? So you want to work on that listing variation, that they could pick the color and it changes. If you're not able to do so, because I don't sell t-shirts, but if you're not able to do so, the best bet is to create a table chart where you have all the different t-shirts. Let's say you put 9 per picture, and on the bottom of the picture, you have the color of that particular t-shirt. So if this was the Kelly one, right, underneath you would say primary color Kelly. But that way, when people are buying from you, they know what color. Let's say they like this color. They're not going to really know what color is this one. Maybe they'll get the heather orange because it does look orange. But how about if this one was more this color here, the peach, right? We don't know. So you have to make sure that the person, when they're buying from you, they have a clear understanding of how to pick their colors, whether this, when they change it here, it changes the photo, or you have a table, you have all the different colors, and then underneath each color, you have the actual name of that color. In addition to that, I think it's better if you have somebody wearing the t-shirt as one of your pictures as well, so people could see how it looks on an actual person. Make sure that you play around with Etsy videos. Adding a video of the product is a great way to get people to engage. Keep in mind, the longer the person stays in your shop engaging, the higher the probability that they will buy from you. So having all these little different pictures instead of the same picture over and over, having different images of your product in different ways, maybe having someone be wearing it, maybe a video of you behind the scene creating it, maybe another picture of the actual product, with 3 other shirts right on top of each other. Just having different pictures that will engage the customer and potentially increase the likelihood of them buying. In addition to that, this sizing guide is a little bit plain. It would be nicer if you had your branding color, if you had your logo in it. I think you can make it way more better, make it look more professional, more nicer. And don't forget that email marketing is really crucial. I don't see that you have any sort of email marketing in your store. And it's really important that you start collecting emails, because a lot of the people that come the first time to your store are not necessarily going to buy from you. So you want to make sure that you capture their emails so you could remarket to them again. In addition to that, you got to think, what makes my product unique, right? If you're getting a lot of likes or a lot of favorites and no one's buying, it's because people are overwhelmed with so many options nowadays. They might like your shirt, put a favorite on it, like it, and then go somewhere else and find it for cheaper or better quality or whatever it is, right? But people are overwhelmed with options. So what makes your product different from everyone else? What makes your product so unique that when the customer sees it the first time, it makes it a no-brainer for them to say, well, I can't get this nowhere else. Let me go ahead and buy from you. That's what you want. You want to make sure that your product is different and not similar or the same like everyone else. At the current moment, it is a nice shirt, but it's something that I have seen over and over on Etsy. So you have to add some type of strength to your product that when people look at it, it makes it, like I said, a no-brainer for them. They feel like, I can't get this design elsewhere, so let me go ahead and buy it from this particular store. So start working on that and making items that not only people are searching for, not only people, that you can make profit from, but how can you make it different so you can stand out in already a saturated market like selling t-shirts. So that would be my first tip on your photos. The next thing I would recommend is making sure that your title, you don't want to do keyword stuffing. Etsy doesn't want us to do that anymore, but you do want to include as many tags as possible, but just make sure that it's user friendly. So when the customer is reading it, it's user friendly for them to understand what exactly you're selling, but it's also optimized for SEO. I would keep away this size here when you put small to 2x. I would use this in your listing description, but I would use this for another possibility of another tag that you could potentially use to get found. So keep that in mind. You want to include your focus keyword in the beginning of your title, and you want to make sure that you have a description of what you're selling, but it's optimized for SEO. That way you could do both. Have a listing title that's easy to read, and also have a listing title that has SEO purposes so you could get found in the search results. And another thing you have to keep in mind is that if this is going to be your main keyword here, because you put it in the beginning of your title for SEO, you want to make sure that the first 155 characters, which is your meta description, you want to make sure that it includes your main focus tag. So you want to include your tag, you want to include a description of what you're selling, and you want to include a call to action, which you actually have it, clicking to shop now. And that's great. The reason why you want to add to that call to action is because your products are not only shown on the Etsy search feed, but they're also shown on Google. So therefore, on Google, all they see is a snippet of your actual listing, and it's the first 160 characters. So in order for you to optimize that correctly for SEO, you need to include your main keyword, which is funny, be y'all beautiful, in here, and you don't have it that way. It needs to be exactly the same. So right now you have not optimized your title for SEO to the full potential. You have not optimized your meta description for SEO, but this is why you're getting this free critique to kind of point out some things that you could fix in order to help your visibility on Etsy as well as on Google. So make sure that you do those two things. And another thing that I noticed from your tags is that you're not using your tags in the actual listing description. So you're not optimizing your full listing description for SEO. So you need to make sure that you include tags on your title, on your meta description, and as well as your listing description. This is how the algorithm, Etsy's algorithm, and Google understands what your page is all about. If you don't optimize it correctly, you'll get less visibility, less traffic to your store, and then this actual listing will have a lower listing quality score because not too many people are buying or engaging. But that's the reason why is due to the fact that it's not optimized correctly for SEO. Once you fix those things, it will definitely help you rank higher, especially if you do SEO the proper way. So you definitely want to include the keywords in here. But I wanted to look at your keywords. I'm using eRank Pro. I do have the paid version of it in case if it looks different to you guys. And one thing that I noticed was that a lot of your keywords, some are, the tags could be better because they're very broad and generic. And then a lot of the keywords don't have any search volume at the current moment. For instance, cute saying t-shirt has barely any search volume. Popular t-shirt has barely any search volume right now. Wife holiday shirt for women, perfect. I wouldn't particularly use this tag. No one's really using it. It's not bringing you any traffic. Sassy shirt, yeah, but it's no, I could see why you're using it, but there's no traffic. This will be a better one. It's a long tail keyword. It has less competition, which is good. However, the monthly search volume is not that great right now. And this one here, gift under 25. Not saying those are bad terms, but is a term that's a little bit generic. It could be any type of gift. So sometimes if you don't have enough keywords here to help you, using this one doesn't really help you either sometimes, because you want to have a balance of long tail keywords. And you could use keywords like this, like gift under 25 or gift for her. But you want to make sure that all your keywords are strong when you use one of these that are more generic, because you could still drive traffic from those, but you want stronger tags also so you could drive the right traffic to your store. So one, you will have to redo your tags. Now, keep in mind, it's December, it's the holiday season, people are shopping now. it could be that your types of shirts don't sell too well on December maybe, and you'll come back like, let's say, I don't know, March, and you start noticing that the data here changes. For instance, my wedding store for this month is like the numbers here are drastically low. I have some keywords that normally in March when it's peak season is like 10,000 monthly searches a month. Right now is barely 600, right? And it's because it's not wedding season right now. So that happens. So you have to figure out selling t-shirts on Etsy is an evergreen content, evergreen product that people are buying year round, or is it more a peak season product? Like it sells more from, let's say, March to July, right? Like wedding. So you have to figure that out, because that will definitely help you when it comes to using keywords. And when it comes to, okay, I'm not going to freak out that this is 0, because I know that when March comes and that's my busiest months, this data will be different, right? Because this does fluctuate on the months depending on the season and what's on peak and what's not. So that's one way to look at it. Another thing is to look at your data. If you've been with Etsy for a while, let me see, how long have you been with Etsy? So this is your first year. So depending on when you started, if you started in the beginning of the year, then you should have enough data to kind of look at your Etsy stats and see when was the months that you got the more sales, when was the months that you got more views, when were the months that you got less. That's one way that you could see if it's trending or not and when it's trending. Another thing that you could do is use Google Trends to see if this is an evergreen product or if it's a seasonal product. And that will show you what months are your peak season for selling t-shirts. And another thing is building a strong brand, right? Because you could have a product that maybe doesn't necessarily sell that great on Etsy during this time, but if you have a strong email list and you have a strong brand, you could potentially just send out an email and make sales every single month on a continuous basis just from your email list. So keep that in mind. But this is why it's so important to start an email list, because when you do drive traffic back to your store, whether you use Pinterest, whether you use Instagram, Facebook, Etsy ads, or just Etsy alone, SEO, you want to make sure that the people that actually don't buy from you, that you capture their email so you could remarket to them at a later time. So what I would do is, if you have not done this yet, I would sit down, think about your product, and come up with 10 to 15 words that are words that descriptively describe what you sell or accurately describes what you sell. And I will stick with long tail keywords. You could use some that are more broad and have a little bit more search, but make sure that when you use these tags and you use the ones that are like this, that have more, well, this one doesn't have that much search at the moment, but if you find a different one, let's say gift for her, make sure that your pictures are absolutely amazing. Make sure that your listing, your titles, and your tags are optimized for SEO. That way, when you list that listing and you put it on, you publish it, it has a higher probability of converting better and has a higher probability of getting a higher listing quality score, because you have all these things already in place. But if you upload a listing, you fix the photos, but you never did the SEO correctly, you upload the listing, it doesn't get any traction, no one's really buying, no one's really favoring it, no one's really clicking on it, Etsy's gonna say, and Google's algorithm, they're gonna say, well, this listing didn't perform that well. Let's go ahead and bury it in the search results, and you won't be on the first or second page where we all want to be. So that's the first thing you have to do. Is you have to make sure that all three things are done correctly: your photos, your titles, your listing description, for SEO, and also what you're selling. Make sure that you include everything and anything they need to know. I think you did a decent job, but it could be done a little bit better. So making sure that you include what you're selling, making sure that your personality is coming through your description, right? This is your opportunity to shine, making sure that it's optimized for SEO, making sure that you have any returns or refund policy, making sure that you make it user friendly. You say, hey, by the way, if you have any questions, reach out to me. People like that, right? Making sure that you have a link at the bottom of your listing description that either goes to similar items that you sell, or it goes to your homepage so you could keep them in your store. You don't want them to go down read this and then go like this and then look at your competitor, click here and leave. You want to keep them engaged in your store. That's one of the disadvantages of selling on Etsy, is that they promote other people's products down here. So one way that helps, not saying it's guarantee, but helps keep people in your store longer, is by adding a backlink to one of your other pages, whether it's similar products, whether it's your home page, or matching items, but just add a link. And don't forget to always sign it with your name, like best regards, Justin, or if you have any questions, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for stopping by and considering our store. Something very simple. And even how to order too is really big. A lot of people, is their first time visiting Etsy. They never order from Etsy, especially nowadays that everybody's buying online. You could easily say how to order, add the color that you want, purchase the listing. Within, I don't know, 24 hours, I will send you a confirmation that the t-shirt has been mailed out to you with the tracking information, blah, 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 blah. Just make it very user friendly, that when the customer reads that, they feel comfortable enough to buy from you. Keep in mind, your Etsy photo is what make them, your Etsy photo's job, right? Is what makes them stop from scrolling in the feed and take notice of your listing. The SEO is how they actually found you in the first place. And the listing description is what closes out the sale. Is what makes them feel comfortable to say, you know what, I'm ready to purchase from the store. So all of it has a role. All of it plays a role. So you want to make sure that all three things are done as best as possible. So those are the tips for your listing. I think that you have a great idea with the dad joke shirts. I like it. I would change the picture here to your own picture. Make sure that you do have picture here of your so I know that you said that your mom helps you with your store, so that's pretty cool. I would add a little bit more here of who you are, what you got started, what makes you different. I think it's really important to add that. Maybe add this that you wrote here. You have 2 Pinterest links, I think. Let's see. You do. I would just remove one and just have the other one as your email link. This is the only section here that you could actually add a clickable link. So I will make sure to add your email link here once you get started. If you're not sure what email provider to use, if you go right below this video, I have a list of different resources that you guys could use. And it does have an email provider there that I recommend as well. Make sure that you have your shop policies updated. All of this helps you with ranking in the search results. You do have your frequently asked questions, but the shop policies place you higher in the search results and not the frequently asked, even though I do recommend doing both. But yeah, these are my tips for you today. I think the biggest takeaway from you is SEO and making sure that your products are different from everyone else that sells similar products. In addition to that, making sure that you're optimizing your listings for SEO the right way. If you start with that, that's a great start. And then make sure that you start your email marketing so you can start capturing those emails, and then eventually using Pinterest a little bit more and consistent, because Pinterest, it is pretty amazing when you use it the correct way. If you guys have any tips for Justin, please leave them below. I really do appreciate it. I do read them as well. If you have any questions in general, leave them below as well. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, and I will see you on the next one.